What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Super Gamer Boys. I'm your host, Colonel and most handsome dad, Garrett Morlang. And here in the virtual studio with me is the king of video games and pocket poppy, Adrian Homeboy Holmes. What's up, Adrian?
What's going on, my man? Here we are again. Another week.
Another week.
Another
great episode. We are here. We are alive. And I cannot forget, also joining us here is the heavyweight bot casting champion of the world, Super Gamer Bot. That's right.
There you go. Them. Putting some respect on my buddy's name. I appreciate that.
Hear from them a little later in the show. Yes. You know what? Since we've been announcing Super Gamer Bot, episodes have just been better, I feel like. So
there's something to it.
And there's been a little less sass from old Super Gamer Bot, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Makes working.
I don't know, man. I feel like they're like Wolverine, right? Like you're mostly going to get the sass, but sometimes you'll get those, those intimate moments that, they show that they care.
Yeah. I guess so. I guess you're right.
Mm-hmm.
I had a busy day today for being unemployed. I had a lot of work to do today. So that's right. I just want to say this because this is just so exciting to me. If you're going to be in San Diego this weekend for Comic-Con, you might see some of my work if you're walking around Gaslamp.
Check you out.
We'll see. If you're walking around Gaslamp, there's a couple restaurants down there that you might see my stuff. I don't know. This is super cool. This is really exciting to me. The thought that like, oh, wow, like thousands of people could see my stuff this weekend. That's so bizarre. I've been doing like some freelance contract stuff for some restaurants down there. And they're like, hey, Comic-Con, they have like 3 restaurants right in Gaslamp right there. So
now, if those start bringing in some numbers, they're going to be like, I wonder what changed. Oh, it must be that signage and those new menus that we made. Let's go ahead and double back to that company.
Heck yeah. That's the dream. That's the dream. They already like what I do, which is exciting. Like I heard from someone else. So it's Trudy's friend works there and kind of hooked me up with the gig. She had mentioned to Trudy, like, oh, hey, yeah, like I overheard in a meeting, like they love Garrett's stuff. Like they're loving everything he's done so far. I'm like, yes, it feels so good. I make good stuff. Now if someone would just freaking hire me, just hire me full time, please. I don't want to do this freelance. It's too scary running your own business. Everyone keeps telling me like, oh, just do it on your own. Like you're so good at it. I'm like, I know I'm good. It doesn't mean I want to run my own business. That's scary.
Right. Now I have to set up my own taxes. I gotta. No thanks. I'd rather somebody else just do that and let me do the creative part. And you worry 100%. About the rest of it.
100%. I mean, and even just like taking care of like taxes and taking care of even just like finding clients. Like, man, I don't want to do that. Just give me the work. I'll do the work. I'm good at doing the work. I'm just not good at finding the work. It's scary. But I mean, it's Super Gamer Boys. Is like barely a business. We don't even really make enough to make it that difficult. We make so little here. It's actually quite easy for taxes. It's great. But yeah, obviously if I run my own business, it's going to be to, actually pay the bills. It would hopefully be a substantial larger amount of money, but yeah, we'll see. But anyways, I just thought that was kind of exciting. So
yeah, I've had a week, man.
Yeah.
Since the last episode, a lot's been going on. I've been living a lot of life, but I've also had a tragedy strike.
Okay.
Since last episode to this episode, I have had a Discord account. I have not had a Discord account, and then I had a Discord account again. I lost access. My Discord account was disabled, dude. Out of nowhere, and it took me days to get it back. And you know what it was? What did they say? You got caught up in the spam filter. Sorry about that. Hey, that Discord that you pay nitrate on? That you pay us to
you literally pay for.
Right. We thought you were a spam bot, so we just completely shut down your account and didn't tell you until after we did it. What?
Yeah, that's wild.
Thanks, Discord.
Wild. When you said that, the other day when that happened, you were like, my Discord account's gone. I immediately was like, I thought maybe you got hacked. Like maybe it wasn't gone.
That's what I thought
you were
at
just
first.
like, so I was like, shoot. So I I booted you off of everything on our Discord. I'm like, I don't, because you have admin, connections there. I'm like, the last thing I want is for our server to just get.
No,
nuked.
that's totally fair. I'd have done the same thing until it got sorted out.
Sorry, Adrian, pulling the plug on you. You're done. You're out.
I mean, but obviously everything is back now. Thank goodness. Yeah.
Crazy.
Heck of a way to start a week. I can tell you that.
Yeah. Be like, hey, I can't talk with anyone. What's going on?
Yeah. I was legitimately like, how are we going to do this episode?
Yeah.
If I don't have my Discord account back, because we do everything through here.
Yeah. Behind a little peek behind the curtain, we do the video chat through Discord. We share files through Discord. We chat, we plan, we hang out in the Discord together. Like we do all sorts of stuff. This is our bread and butter, really. So yeah, it would be a bummer if you lost Discord. You could use, I guess, technically Super Gamer Boys as a Discord. You could have used our backup account, like the Super Gamer Boys email.
Yeah, I guess so. But what if, you know what I mean? Hey, this looks like that same IP that was banned.
That's true.
Now we're really screwed.
Oh yeah. then we're really toasted. Oh,
right.
Man. Well, glad you got it back. Glad we're here tonight.
Me too.
We're able to actually talk and see each other. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a new way to stream your Xbox games, the FTC's fit over the Game Pass price increases, and the Halo TV show is dead. So what's next for the franchise? But first, let's give a quick shout out to our Patreon producers, Bumble Smash and Kajoma01, and our super gamer sponsors, Julie Bates, Mama Mare, and Carrie. If you want to be awesome just like those folks, head over to patreon.com/supergamerboys where you can support us starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1 each and every month gets you episodes early and ad-free for the entire month, as well as access to our Patreon exclusive shows such as Super Later Boys, early seasons of Super Gamer Book Club. We'll talk more about our Patreon later, but yeah, you should check it out. It's good stuff. I also just want to shout out our merch store, sgbstore.com. We'll talk about this later in the ad, but I'm wearing mine right now. I love it.
Yeah, boy.
Drinking out of my
looking good, looking
Summer
sharp.
Gamer Boys glass as well. It's good stuff. You should go get it. We've actually done some more. We've sold more than I anticipated. Let's just say that. I was like, oh, okay.
I'll take it. Oh, you mean more than zero? Yeah.
More than zero.
I'm
yeah,
good with
dude.
that.
I was like, I thought maybe my mom would be the only one. And even that one was a maybe,
Making your mom buy her own shirt is crazy.
It's been nice to see some other people supporting us. So thank you all so much who have supported us that way. And if you
absolutely
like what you see here, go check it out because we have other stuff. These aren't the only designs. We have another t-shirt, some other glasses, some other stuff. We just got stuff. Go check it out. It's fun. All right. Shout out to Jack, Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on the show. Tonight we're listening to DJ Trooz again. And if you're liking what you hear, go add them to your Apple Music playlist or your Spotify playlist. They're available there. You can find the links to that over in the show description if you're watching on YouTube and listening on podcast apps. One thing, this is totally off topic. Before we get into the listener question here, mailbag. Okay, what's the deal with Apple not allowing you to import music into Apple Music from your phone? Why do we have to still sync in order to put music into Apple Music? Like if I have MP3 files that I want to listen to on my phone. And right now, in order to actually listen to them on my phone, either I gotta like a peasant to listen to it through the Files app, or I have to put them on my computer and then plug my phone in and then click on the album and then sync it over. And it's 2010 again with my iPod Touch. Like, what's the deal? Why have they not? Why can't I just click on the music files that are in my Files app and just say import to Apple Music?
You can do that on Mac. Super easy. You just because your files all sync to the same place. So when you go to your files in your Mac, you just take that file, drag it into music and drop it. And then now it's in your Apple Music library.
Even on your iPhone?
No, you can't do it on your phone.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
They're two separate applications.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I want to be able to listen to, I just wish, because like on Android phones, you can do this where you just like whatever's on your SD card, it just puts it in the music app. Why does Apple make you sync it to the computer like it's a freaking iPod from, the 2000s? Like
they don't make me sync it to the computer.
How do you put music on your iPhone then? That isn't through Apple Music.
I just told you. I said when, how you were saying you have downloads in the Files app?
Yes.
When you use a Mac, that same Files folder shows up in like the main thing. Right. Then you just click where that same folder is. You take that MP3, drag it in the music app, and now it's in your Apple Music library. That's it.
Right. But you said it doesn't show up on Apple Music on your iPhone.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. It uploads it once you put it in Apple Music, and then now you can stream it on any device.
See, that's the problem. I don't have a Mac. Oh, I have a Mac.
I was gonna say you just got the wrong computer.
I have a MacBook Pro from 2010 that does not have Apple. It has iTunes, but it does not support Apple.
Right. I was gonna say it probably has iTunes, but.
See, that's the predicament I'm in right now. I just want to be able to I should be able to just hit import on my phone. I shouldn't have to even touch a computer. I should just be able to hit a button and like all that music shows up in Apple Music, but it doesn't. It drives me crazy.
Yeah. Unfortunately, your phone's not a desktop.
It should be for the price I'm paying for it.
It doesn't have the
for the price for an iPhone 15 Pro. I should be able to do that. That seems so fair. Simple. It's such as Android can do it. That's the one. I hate Android, but let me tell you, they got a couple things right, and that's one of them. That is one of them. All right. Anyways, it's time.
Tell me to work on that malware issue, and then we'll talk.
Yeah. It's time to boot up Super GamerBot over here.
Let's do it.
What up, Turbo Nerds? It's question time once again. Don't think about them too hard. We don't have replacement brain for you yet. You ready?
Don't think about them too hard. You think we're gonna like burn out our smoke coming out of our ears? We're that dumb? That's what I feel like.
He said. He said they don't have the replacement brains for us yet, so we can't blow these ones up.
But is Super GamerBot just calling us dumb then? Is that what it is?
That's what it sounds like.
Man, I even shouted them out at the top of the show, and then that's how
what did I say? I said they're like the Sour Patch Kids. First they're sweet, then they're sour.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Well, Super GamerBot, do you mind giving us that first question or I guess the only question? We only got one question this week. Remember, if you have questions, you can drop them over at supergamerboys.com/Discord. Join our Discord over there. It's completely free. You can hang out with us during the week, talk about what you're playing, what you're watching, see goofy doodles I do of Luffy, and then drop your listener questions over there. So think about it. It's fun. It's a good time. Anyways, give us that question from Carrie, please.
Carrie asks, would you rather have a pause button or a rewind button in real life? Or something else?
Okay. A pause button or a rewind button in real life. Or something else. So the or something else, obviously, what I think what would fit in there perfectly is the remote from Click, obviously. That's the or something else right there. Like obviously that's like the number one choice because then you have everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if it was just between a pause button and a rewind button,
it's rewind. It's rewind. Easy.
Okay.
Pause. So we talked a little bit about this before starting everything up, right? And the pause button is good for like one real world use case. And that's just making a moment last longer. Like if you have, I don't know, a perfect view of your significant other next to a sunset and you just want to enjoy that for a while longer so you can really etch it into your memory, a pause button makes sense. Or, any other kind of intimate memory. However, when you have a rewind button, your options become limitless, right?
Yeah.
Think about every dumb thing that keeps you up at night, right? You know, that you said or that you did, right? How much would you love to be able to go back at that point in time and change that situation and undo what you said, undo what you did, right? Think about a fight that you were getting ready to get in and you could have pressed the rewind button and walk away. That hurtful thing that you said to somebody that you know that they still think about, that you still think about, you know, that wakes you up. You could just not say it. You could just rewind and not say it. Or, you know what I mean? There's so many scenarios with that.
Yeah.
Not only in just conversations, but like things you do. Think about you're working on the house and you fall off a ladder. You know, if you happen to have the rewind button, you can rewind to before then and know I'm getting ready to fall. I need to adjust whatever this is. You know,
hopefully you're not dead.
Hopefully you're not dead. But if you're not dead, then you know you can rewind.
Just have it tattooed on your chest that says, "If found dead, rewind. X amount, like rewind 24 hours, rewind 24 hours or something." Like what? And they like hit the, everything goes back.
But there's so many like tough situations you can just rewind and try again until you get the right answer. Right?
Yeah.
It's a literal time stone.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's like. And I my brain works like that already, where like my wife will be like, "What are you thinking about?" Like, yeah, she can tell. She looks at me, like, "Are you thinking about something?" I'm like,
and then the Fallout dialogue options come up.
Yeah, in my mind,
every time, dude.
Like, and I've told her before. I'm like, "Oh, I'm on like what Doctor Strange says in the one movie is like, I'm on version number like 1,300,000 blah blah blah, like of the possibility like of, you know, whatever, what's going to happen tomorrow." She's, you know, as like an example, like, okay, maybe I have like an interview coming up that's really relevant to me right now. So like I was telling her, I was just like, there's like a million different things I could say right now. I'm going through every possibility in my head and how it could come out. And I was like, but yeah, having like a rewind button, I could go through all those possibilities and actually see how they run out and not just like imagine it in my head. Because that's the problem. You imagine it in the head and usually it's a lot worse than you think, or sometimes not as bad as you think. And then it's really bad. So it's like having the rewind button would be nice. Now with the pause button, though, I have a question. Because is there a way to like unpause other people? Because then what if it's a situation where you like pause everything, but like you keep like your buddies, like a group of friends or like your significant other and your family, and just like what if you just like live life like, all right, let's fly to Japan now and just go live in a house for the rest of our days on pause, you know, and like kind of doing our thing, and then just unpause it one day, you know, like 50 years later and like just go back to normal life, although we'd be aged.
And now you're like all 50. Old and everything hasn't changed a bit.
To everyone else, it's been like a second and like, what happened to you? You look like you're 50 years older.
Right. I mean, for the sake of argument, I would say probably no. Just because I feel like these would need to only affect whoever is in possession or who has been given that power. Because if you could rewind or if you could pause other things, I feel like that's a whole lot of power, right? You rob a bank, you know, you pause everything, you're out of there. Or you pause, you know, I don't know, other cops or whatever. It's too great of a power to have, I think. For people, for it to fall into the wrong hands.
But I feel like that's the only way it's even comparable to the rewind button. Because as you were saying, like the rewind button's extremely powerful too. So I feel in the like the pause button on its own is kind of like, I don't know, cut off at the knees because of that. I feel like it needs something to make it better. And I think that's what it would make it better. Like more like is if you could actually like tag people and be like, all right, unfrozen, you know, or something like that. I don't know. That's to make it even equal. Because otherwise in this situation, rewind all day long. But if they could pause it a little bit more, man, that'd be pretty slick. Because then, or like the end of the world's happening. Like nukes are literally falling from the sky and you quick slam the pause button. And then, you can just like.
But there's no way to make them stop falling then. eventually you're going to have to unpause.
Will you?
Yeah. You can, you can get a few hundred miles away and then unpause. But then, how are you going to be able to live with that? Because you got away, but you know all these people around you are pretty much done for when you unpause.
I mean, that's what I'm saying, though. Like, if I'm able to untag people, like, all right, I untag my family, and heck, I'll just start going house to house and just tagging people, like, everyone out, you know? Because, you know, does there have to be a limit to how long it can be paused? Because there could be paused for like 6 months while I just go around and like tag a bunch of people like, all right, the bomb's coming down. Let's get out of here. Or maybe in that time, we're figuring out a way to like, all right, how do we stop it before it drops or whatever? Make a giant slide that it hits and shoots it back off into the ocean, you know? Like
a giant nuke just on a like inflatable cruise ship slide coming down.
I just imagine like a Wile E. Coyote kind of thing where it's like this is giant slide sitting there for the nuke hits and just launches it back over to Russia or China, whoever sends it at is. Oh man. Yeah, I don't know. It's a hard one. It's a hard one.
I think there's cases for both. I think there's a better case for the rewind. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Day to day, like how practical that would be.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it'd be so nice because, yeah, then I wouldn't have to spend the, you know, hours just mulling it over in my head. Like, all right, how should I say this? What should I do? I could just do it, try it, see what happens. And you know,
it would definitely make me be way more spontaneous and like, say, you know how you were saying there, there's the choices, like you have the normal choice, the Paragon choice, and the Renegade choice. I would be choosing Renegade way more. Let me see if I can get this off. Let me see if I can get this, you know, this not mean, but like this assertive decision off. Let me see if I can get this flirty decision off. You know, all these just so I can see what the outcome might have been if I did it, you know?
Oh, 100%. Oh, so good. So good. All right. Well, that is it for the questions this week. If you have questions for us you'd like us to answer, think about dropping those over on our Discord. Remember, supergamerboys.com/Discord to join over there for free. And with that, it's now time for the nerdy nudes.
It's now time for the nerdy nudes.
Wonderful. All right. This first news story comes to us from GameSpot, written by Eddie McCooch. You can stream Xbox games in a new way today. Microsoft and Nvidia have teamed up to allow users to launch Xbox games directly from Xbox.com via cloud streaming through Nvidia GeForce Now. Already supported games could be launched through Microsoft's own cloud gaming service, but now users will have the option to stream via GeForce Now instead. According to Forbes and others, selecting GeForce Now simply redirects users to the GeForce Now website. For a more optimal experience, many recommend downloading the GeForce Now app. The app has more settings in the browser version and is generally understood to be a better experience. One of the sticking points of Microsoft getting the deal done to buy Activision Blizzard was around cloud gaming and streaming. To get the deal done, Microsoft made several assurances to regulators that the company would only allow users to stream games through Microsoft's own streaming service, but also through a range of third-party providers like Nvidia, Boosteroid, and Ubisoft. All GeForce Now memberships are half off right now as a part of the summer sale, bringing the price of its ultimate plan down to $10 a month or $50 a year. The subscription tier supports up to 4K, 240 FPS. While there are less expensive subscription options too, they have scaled back features and functionality. Streaming is a big focus for Xbox going forward as the company looks to expand the reach of the Xbox beyond the platform itself. Another major streaming development, Microsoft just added streaming support to the Amazon Fire Stick TV devices, and you can get a bundle that has everything you need for under $100. Did you see that for the Prime Day? Amazon was selling
the Fire Stick.
It was the Xbox-less Xbox bundle where you got an Amazon Fire Stick, a gift card for like 3 months of Game Pass, a controller. And the idea is so you can play Xbox games all, without the Xbox.
It's a smart play. It's a great play.
Totally. So this got me super stoked. A lot of people are gonna be like, all right, big whoop, whatever. I can stream through Xbox if I want. Yes, you can if you're willing to pony up if you listen to last week's episode, the now $20 subscription, because Game Pass Ultimate is going up. and it is up for new subscribers now. So yeah, streaming has always been tied to that top dollar tier, where with this, potentially, you could have a cheaper tier either at console or PC. Like in my case, I was thinking like, oh man, at PC, all right, the new PC price is what, like $11 or $12. And then I had a subscription to this for a long time. I was even part of the beta, so I have like the founder's pricing. It was only like $5 or $6 a month. Like, oh man, like I'm basically back at the original Game Pass Ultimate price of like $16 or $17. But not only can I stream Xbox games, but I can also stream Steam games and Epic games, and like the list goes on. Like GeForce Now supports a lot of the storefronts on PC. So it's like, man, like I basically have Game Pass for everything, not just Xbox Game Pass. I basically have this Game Pass out, like games out the wazoo that I could have access to right away. I don't know. I know this was kind of like expected to happen because it was all part of like the court cases that went on before the sale and stuff like that. But it just got me super stoked. I guess it was something I forgot about and I was really excited for. Have you ever tried out either GeForce Now or the Xbox cloud streaming service?
So I haven't tried GeForce Now, but I have tried Xbox cloud streaming, and I can tell you of the cloud streaming services, you know, when there was that big war with them, Stadia, Amazon, Luna,
PlayStation Now tried to get in there.
PlayStation Now, Xbox cloud gaming was miles ahead of all the rest of them, easily.
Yeah. That was my experience as well. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just really, for what you got, clear picture, low latency, all that. So it makes sense that they would want to continue to, you know, push that. It's interesting that they are not not necessarily not relying, but reaching out to other partners like GeForce to kind of strengthen that rather than continue to invest on their own merits. You know,
well, again, I think it comes down to, though, like the promise they made during the court rulings and stuff. They said they would allow their games to stream on other platforms. So this is part of that. So they kind of didn't have a choice in the matter necessarily. Right. But
fair enough.
But yeah, I'm glad they at least picked, you know, a good streaming service, because as we were just saying like a minute ago, like, or you were saying, like, yeah, this Xbox cloud gaming was always miles ahead of the other ones. But let me tell you, GeForce Now was right on par with them. Like when Cyberpunk came out and it was unplayable everywhere, I was playing it through GeForce Now with like zero latency, and it worked perfectly because basically you were running at like the top of the line PC. Like you were streaming the game over the top of the line PC somewhere in an Nvidia server farm somewhere, whereas it's using the best GPU, the best CPU, the best everything. And so like everyone else having issues playing Cyberpunk, and I'm like, it's running fine for me because I was streaming it over the internet basically, and it was great. I loved it. That was the only way to play, because if you had on my PC at home, could not handle it. And obviously we all know like the console versions were just a disaster. So GeForce Now is up there with streaming services. Like I would say that it's easily on par with the cloud gaming, if not even better, just in the fact of feature wise. Like you have access to so many other libraries. Like it's not just Xbox, it's also Steam, it's also Epic, it's also, you know, I think they've added GOG on there as well. But yeah, I don't know, this got me all sorts of excited. I a lot of the subscription I've canceled in the last few months due to finances and stuff, but it's like, oh man, like it got me excited. Like, all right, once I'm able to, like, sounds like an awesome
back at it
investment. I guess something I'm curious about. I realized I never really looked into it, but I wonder if there's a GeForce app for like Steam Deck, because that would be super slick to be able to stream off.
I mean, I feel like there should be, right? If Valve is always talking about the spirit of competition, and the market will decide.
Shocked if there isn't. So, because that was always one of the issues not the issues, but the hiccups you'd run into is not being able to play Game Pass games on the Steam Deck. Because there isn't you can't use a cloud gaming app. Well, you can, but it's a lot of like back end, like you got to mess with it. You got a borderline, like, I don't know, people are going to come at me in the comments and be like, it's not that hard. It's more difficult than it needs to be. I wish it was just an app you could just go click and then you have it. It's not. It's like a whole bunch of back end stuff you got to do in desktop mode, where it's like, oh, if there's a GeForce Now app that you can just like install real quick and easy. Oh man, there you go. Now you have access to all your Game Pass games and everything else super easy. So I don't know, obviously, if that's for sure works, but now I want to look into that. That's definitely something I'm interested in checking out, see if it's available on my Steam Deck. Yeah, this is exciting. I'm glad this is happening. For those of you watching the stream or watching on YouTube, here's a little screenshot of what happened. So basically from the Xbox website, when you click play with cloud, it gives you both options right there. It says Xbox Cloud Gaming or Nvidia GeForce Now. It's awesome.
There you go.
So cool. So cool. So easy. Yeah, well, with that, I guess we can move on to the next news story here. This next news story is from Insider Gaming, written by Mike Straw. Another Microsoft joint here. Microsoft responds to FTC over Xbox Game Pass price increase. After the United States Federal Trade Commission publicly stated that the recent price increase and tier changes to Xbox Game Pass would inflict consumer harm, Microsoft has come back with a message of their own. In a new filing, Microsoft says that the FTC's letter is misleading and gives an extra record account of the facts. I guess before we should go on, there was this article didn't really give a ton of context, but the FTC basically came out because we talked about the price increases last week on the show. FTC is like, this is not okay. And they kind of started throwing a big fit over the price increase, saying it's causing consumer harm and it's dangerous for the marketplace and all very inflammatory language. Like it's talking very negatively about the whole situation.
Yeah, they were trying to get it shut down.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to get Microsoft to back up and not go through with this. So here is Microsoft's response to that. They say the FTC letter is misleading, gives an extra record account of the facts. It is all wrong to call this a degraded version of the discontinued Game Pass for console offerings, Microsoft said. That discontinued product did not offer multiplayer functionality, which had to be purchased separately for an additional $9.99 a month, making the total cost $20.98 a month. While Game Pass Ultimate's price will increase from $16.99 to $19.99, the service will offer more value through many new games available day and date. Among them is the upcoming release of Call of Duty, which has never before been available on a subscription day and date. The letter adds that the FTC barely mentioned during the trial surrounding Microsoft's acquisition of Activision Blizzard. The focus of the trial was that Microsoft could keep Call of Duty off of PlayStation consoles. That Microsoft says has nothing to do with the price tier changes to Game Pass. So FTC basically coming out and being upset about the price increase doesn't make sense because the court cases weren't about price increases. The court cases were about Microsoft potentially not allowing PlayStation to have access to games and stuff like that. So why are you complaining about this when that's not what the issue was at all? Like the original issue was exclusivity, not pricing. Right. While the FTC has now tried to shift focus to its alleged subscription market, its letter does not map onto its arguments below. Setting aside that it is common for businesses to change service offerings over time, the FTC's case in all of its alleged markets has always been premised on vertical foreclosure, that Microsoft would withhold Call of Duty from rivals and therefore harm competition. But even in the alleged subscription market, Call of Duty is not being withheld from anyone who wants it. The letter closes with the company saying that there is no evidence to harming competition. Yeah, I gotta, I gotta side with Xbox on this one. I think they're right. Like they have a good case. Like they're like there is no case. But also, I think you kind of made a good point before the show. I thought was interesting that the FTC, even though the court case wasn't necessarily focused on pricing, they did say this would happen, right? Like that
They called
it. That was a worry originally.
Yeah,
and
they literally called it. They said, if you let this merger go through, as soon as the ink is dry and they are clear, they are going to raise prices because they have to start to recoup on this deal, right? And yeah, they have the money to do it, but why do we have to do it if we can let the consumer base pay for it?
Yeah.
So that's exactly what happened. They are raising the price. Granted, they are supposedly adding more value by bringing Call of Duty, which they were going to do either way. I kept telling you guys, there's no way I'm spending $70 billion and not putting Call of Duty on Game Pass. You're out of your mind if you think that wasn't going to happen. So now that we have confirmation pretty much that is happening, it only made sense that they were going to raise the price.
Yeah, no, it would.
And
be...
the FTC was right. I think they have grounds now, or if they wanted to pursue reopening another case.
You think so?
I think so, because that wasn't that part of the whole thing. Is they had to let other companies develop things for their platform, like services for their platform, right? They had to break it up and let other doesn't like Ubisoft have the rights to some kind of a streaming deal with them?
Yeah, so Ubisoft does. I mean, now Nvidia does.
Right.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, so it was like streaming the games had to be available in more places. It also had to, not be, taking the major franchises like Call of Duty off of other consoles such as PlayStation or Nintendo and stuff like that. I feel like those are the two main ones. I don't know if pricing was ever a thing. I think it was brought up, but I don't know if it was ever like a full on like main point, like bullet point on the list, but maybe it was. Maybe I'm misremembering, but because if it was, then you're right. They do have a case, but I think I without doing research and just basing off of what Microsoft's response was, they make it out to be that wasn't ever an issue. Like, yeah, it was talked about, but it was never like a bullet point. Like, why are you making a fuss about it now? Like, that should have been something we talked about last year, the last 3 years or whatever. Like, why is this suddenly a thing? So, but I don't know. I missed, obviously, Microsoft could say whatever they want. And I didn't actually do the research to see, but I mean, if that's the case, like what would even happen though? Like, they can't retroactively take back the deal, can they? They can't be like, sorry. I
think that there's probably things in the law, right? In the law when it comes to these mergers and things like that, if you are breaking codes of conduct, I think that it can possibly send it back under review. I feel like common sense would have to dictate you need something like that. Otherwise, companies would just run wild as soon as the deal's gone.
That's true.
Like,
That's
right?
true.
You could just straight up lie, and then once the deal's done, you can go back to doing whatever you want with no repercussions.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even be surprised if there was like a probationary period that was like an NDA maybe for the merger. Like, we're going to be watching you, for the first, 5 years of this merger. And if you, start to acting up, we're going to put this case back under review.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know for the specifics. I haven't read the hundreds of pages of legalese fine print, unfortunately. But I think you're right. I wouldn't be surprised if there's some eagle-eyed FTC members over there just like waiting to catch them on something. But I don't know. Time will tell if this is actually something, if there's anything to the fuss. But at this point, Microsoft seems pretty comfortable. Like, they don't seem, in this statement, they don't seem scared at all. So either they feel like they have enough money to fight the thing, or they really feel comfortable. Like, no, we haven't broken any rules. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, they technically do have enough money to fight the government. So
that's true. They could do it.
They literally do. So
it's true. Oh man. But I wonder, I mean, the worst comes to worst, say the FTC is able to do a case and they are able to to win it, I guess, against Microsoft. Yeah. Worst case scenario, I guess in my head, is some fines and they force them to not do the price increase. Basically, they're like, here's a fine and you can't increase the price until X date or whatever. Right? That's probably all that would happen is this prolonging the inevitable. It's coming on, March 30th of 2027 or something like that. All of a sudden they're allowed to like some random day. There's like, you can up your prices now. But I don't know. We'll see. We will see. Time will tell at this point. Got nothing to worry about.
Somebody's getting slapped down. I don't know if it's going to be Microsoft or it's going to be the FTC. We'll see.
Probably the FTC. I just imagine it almost like a little I don't know. I just picture like a little chihuahua, like making a bunch of racket. Like that's the FTC. And then like someone just being like whack, just a little like smack on the head, like stop it.
On the head.
Microsoft just doing stop it. No. And then the FTC, like, okay, sorry. Crawling away. Okay. All right. Like Microsoft has so much power. They're not worried. But we'll see. All right. This last news story comes to us from The Verge, written by Jay Peters and Ash Parrish. The Halo TV show has been canceled. Paramount Plus is moving on from Halo, but the show's producers are reportedly shopping it around. Paramount has canceled its live-action Halo series for Paramount Plus.
Let's go.
According to The Hollywood Reporter and Variety. But if you're a fan of the show and want to see it continue, there's a sliver of hope. Both publications report that the show's producers are shopping the series around, so perhaps there will be a third season. The Halo show premiered in 2022 and ran for 2 seasons, with the second debuting earlier this year. Pablo Schreiber starred as Master Chief. We are extremely proud of this ambitious series and would like to thank our partners at Xbox 343 Industries and Amblin Television, along with showrunner and executive producer David Weiner, his fellow executive producer, the entire cast led by Pablo Schreiber as Master Chief, and the amazing crew for all their outstanding work, Paramount said in a statement to THR and Variety. We wish everyone the best going forward. The rest of the show is just kind of critiquing. The rest of this article is critiquing the show. But I wanted to take this moment because we normally don't talk about movies and TV shows on this podcast, at least not anymore.
Mm-hmm.
In early days we did, not so much recently. But with the flop of the Halo TV show, because generally it's either middling to negative reviews. No, I've never met anyone who like loved it. It was either just kind of like, yeah, it's fine, or is this is so bad. TV show getting canceled, and the dumpster fire that was Halo Infinite, where there's a few diehards who are sticking with it, but heck, there's a lot of diehards I know of that backed out of that. They're like, heck no, I don't want anything to do with this. Like
yes, hi, hello, how are you?
Like they couldn't even like keep the diehard Xbox players invested in Halo Infinite. With the state of the franchise right now, Halo as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
What in the world does Microsoft do? This is their baby. This is what made this. This is Xbox. Like when you think Halo and Master Chief, it's Xbox. It's similar to like back in the day PlayStation. Like you thought Crash Bandicoot, you thought PlayStation. Or yeah, like I don't know. That's what pops in my head. Or like that's like it's like the number one mascot, the earliest mascot of Xbox, and I feel like they've just thrown them in a trash can. How do you think they recover from this?
I think honestly, I think you might have to go scorched earth at this point. I think Halo has too much of a reputation that has been, I don't want to say like marred, but marred by recent happenings and events, right? Like Halo 4, Halo 5 Halo 4 was okay. Halo 5 was not great. Halo Infinite was okay to not great. So, right. So now you're trying to introduce your biggest IP to a new generation of fans that have only seen it as just okay. They're trying to wonder, well, why would we be interested in this at all? And then you introduce a TV show that you can tell that the creators and the showrunner really want nothing to do with the Halo lore. They wanted to make their own show, but realized they could only get it made if it had Halo on it. The Halo skin on whatever show that they were trying to tell, because it was the furthest thing from actual Halo lore. Like it was maybe a couple of shakes, a couple of sprinkles of Halo lore on the show.
Right.
So I feel like kind of you have to just wipe the slate clean, start a new game, and call it Halo.
So you think
call it Halo Combat Evolved,
full reboot,
full 100%. Even if you have to rewrite the timeline, you know, which you know you have to do, of course. Even if you have to like, as long as the core pieces are there, right? You got Chief, you got Cortana, you can figure the rest out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I think it's based on the response from the audience, right? And especially who are the younger ones, which are going to be carrying this franchise going forward as the older crowd starts to drift off. If they're not into it, it's gonna die on the vine, right? The young people carry the trends. They say what's hot and what's not. And if Halo doesn't sell with them, Halo's not gonna sell in the future. So they have to do something to appeal to them. And the old way is not working.
Yeah.
Straight up.
I think I agree with you. I just don't see them doing that. Like I can't see them willingly throwing away decades of history, you know, at this point. Like it's been over 20 years, right? It was 2000.
Right. And nobody's saying that it wasn't great.
Yeah.
We all know that it's great. It's just more so that the way that the torch has been carried has not been executed well. And that's the issue.
Right.
You know, I mean, I feel like, it's clear as day that, you know, the transition to 343 really was the start of the transition in quality for the franchise. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that to dunk on 343. I feel like had they been given the right direction and the right, you know, time frames to do things, and maybe had more people from the original team to kind of come on and advise, I feel like we'd be in a different spot. I don't think that this was ever 343 being like, we don't need them, we could do our own thing. I think it was more of them trying to figure out how to turn their voice into a Halo voice. And it just eventually ended up backfiring.
Right. Right.
Mm-hmm.
What? Man, I don't know. I had this thought in my head, but then I just remembered that PlayStation owns Bungie now. Because I was like, well, what are the chances that like maybe they get Bungie back to do a reboot of Halo or something? I'm like,
yeah, the dream's dead, unfortunately.
Probably zero.
They technically don't like own Bungie. They have a partnership with Bungie. Bungie's still weirdly independent, I think.
Is it? Let me see.
Uh-huh.
Okay. For some reason I thought
it's like Kojima. Kojima has a partnership with PlayStation, but Kojima Productions is independent.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, Bungie, an American video game company based in Bellevue, Washington, a subsidiary of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Okay, so they're like a.
They are owned? I thought they were. They mentioned like a partnership.
What's the definition of subsidiary? Company owned
That's
or controlled
like an
by
underling,
another company. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know when that happened, but 2022.
I could have swore it said partnership deal. Oh well. I guess I'm wrong.
I think you're right. I think initially it was a partnership, but then in 2022 it says here $3.6 billion they bought them.
That's just weird to me, considering how bad. What?
While Bungie would become part of the PlayStation family of studios, it would remain an independent subsidiary under Sony in development and publishing, and would not be part of PlayStation Studios. So it's owned by and run by PlayStation Studios, but it's not a part of them. Which is weird. Like, why be owned and run by them, but not have the label? They
whined and cried and belly ached so hard about getting out from under Microsoft.
Yeah.
Then they whined and cried and belly ached so hard about getting out from under Activision. And now what do? They run to Sony. Do you like being owned by a company or do you not?
I mean, to the tune of $3.6 billion, I'd be owned by anyone.
All right, take it easy there. But I'm just saying they keep doing this like song and dance of we want to be independent. We believe in our independent spirit.
Yeah,
and then they
it's
run and
true.
they go and get acquired up by somebody. So either you're telling the truth or you're not. What's the deal?
Yeah, I don't. I think that's what they got to do. Now, what about? Now, do you think they just do a focus on games then too? Like throw the show away, throw any? Because I know even since, I mean, I remember being in like middle school and rumors of like a Halo movie. Oh, well, there's going to be a Halo movie. There was like for 15, 20 years, we all thought we were going to get a Halo movie.
I remember I remember that.
I remember there was like even like that it was like a fan made movie, but everyone always thought it was like, oh, this is actually a unreleased like the like or like cut of like the start of a Halo movie or something. Wasn't there? It was like a live action like Halo thing. Do you remember that? It was circulating in like the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, no, I remember this.
Or was that real? Was that legit, or I thought it was a fan made thing?
I think it was a test little short film done. It was the director of District 9.
Okay,
He had done like it was awesome. It looked so good. It was like a live action. Somehow they made it like, I don't know, especially for that time period.
Yeah,
that was impressive work.
It was extremely impressive. Yeah.
If they would have run with something like that and did like an ODST movie, I'm there.
Oh, baby. That's what they need to do. They just need to scrap everything, scorched earth, and just bring it back as Halo ODST. 1, 2, 3, 4, just like a full series of ODST.
And then have Chief be like a mythical character, and like maybe you run into him every blue moon in each game.
Yeah.
Like a one-off encounter.
Give us a new character. Master Chief, he's run his course. We need a new character to follow within the franchise, maybe. I don't know. Or he can become like the like in Call of Duty, what's his name? Price. He can become like the Captain Price, where he's like just an NPC, that shows up and helps you in random missions.
And everybody loses their mind when he shows up.
Oh my gosh. It's Master Chief.
It's Price.
Oh man. Yeah, Halo. It's in a pickle. It is in a pickle. But you know what? I think a lot of Xbox franchises are in a pickle, to be honest. Like Halo's not the only one, honestly. There's a lot of issues going on. I think you're muted, Adrian.
I'll say, and that's fair. That's a very fair take.
Yeah, it's like right now you look at a lot of their stuff and it's like, what do you like? Either they're not doing anything with it or they're doing questionable things with it. A lot of weird releases, bad releases. So I don't know. Hopefully, I just hope in the next like year or two, like once the dust settles, I hope Xbox really just lets the dust settle. Because like every time the dust starts to settle from like an acquisition or a big shakeup, they do another acquisition or change. They need to just like live in the shoes for a little bit. Like don't just keep like getting the next best thing. Like just chill, feel it out, figure out what your process is, and then, and then make some cool stuff for a while. There. And then when that starts getting stale or tired, then you can go on and make a change or make an acquisition. But man, they're just so hungry to just like nom, give me more new stuff. It's like they are literally like the picture of just American consumerism. Always has to have the best, biggest new thing, like Xbox is the same way. Gotta have the next big new studio. It's like, no, chill out, just chill. Your old one works just fine. You don't need the new one. just work with the old one. It's it's all about the person using it. We'll see. We will see though. All right. Well, that is it for the nerdy nudes this week. I believe it is now time for our Patreon ad.
Sweet. Reel it up.
This is a part of the show where I tell you to go over to patreon.com/supergamerboys and support us over there, starting at just $1 a month. That's right, $1 each and every month starts getting you early access to and ad-free, early and ad-free access to all of our shows, as well as or exclusive access to our Patreon exclusive shows, such as Super Later Boys and early seasons of Super Gamer Book Club, ad-free versions of all of our shows, even the public-facing ones. You can get the ad-free version. You don't have to listen to this part. So yeah, think about supporting us over there. It's just $1. One little teeny tiny dollar. You can get those sweet, sweet episodes. You can also support us at $5 a month if you really love what we do. I'll bump it up a little bit more. Heck, you get that same perk and you get the show notes each and every week. So if you want to be a little more a part of the show, be a little more vocal even on these episodes, have your questions, have your thoughts, have your concerns, everything thrown out there to the world. Think about supporting us at $5 a month because you can see the show notes, see exactly what we're going to be talking about, all the news stories, all our listener questions, what we've been playing, and you can leave your own comments right on the doc. That's right. They show up as a little speech bubble right next to the section. So if you had thoughts on Xbox games coming to Nvidia GeForce now, or if you had an answer to Carrie's question, whether you'd like a pause button or rewind button, you could have left it right there in the doc. I could have read it out to everyone. So if you want to be a part of the show, really, support us at $5 a month. $10 a month is a Patreon, our Super Gamer sponsor. And you get all the previous perks and a shout out at the top of each and every episode. We just want to give, you get those sweet perks, and we just want to give a little extra shout out for that little extra cash given us. It's tremendous, tremendous support that we appreciate so, so much. And then above that, we have just the extreme Patreon producer tier, $15 a month. If you absolutely love what we do, want to help support our operation over here, this is the best way. You get all those previous perks, and you also get the ability to pitch a segment if you would like. We have people not take us up on this, and that's totally fine. If you don't have a segment and you just want to support us, that's great. But if you do, if you have an idea, if you've been noodling on it for a while and you're like, you know what, that would be fun for the boys to do for a little bit, think about supporting us at $15 a month. Pitch us your segment. If we like it, we'll take it. If not, well, I usually recommend kind of running it by us first before you support us. But support us at the $15 a month tier. If we're good with it, we will run it, and boy, we have a good time. Adrian back in the day we had the Super Indie Boy segment he did for a while. Just recently, Kajoma's Card Game Corner that he did. We've had Tall Tales with JJ. We've had Losing Reviews. We've had a lot of fun segments over the years, and we've even spun stuff off into shows. Like I think someone even pitched us doing a D&D show at one point, and that's what turned into Super Dungeon Boys as a full-on, not even just a segment, but an actual show that we did. I believe it was Matt Liu way back in the day, same person who did Losing Reviews. During our listener question segment, he was actually having us go through episode by episode, little D&D kind of choose your own adventure segments, and we eventually spun that off into, hey, let's just do a full show here. So if you love what we do, I would appreciate it if you went over to patreon.com/supergamerboys. Support us at any of those levels. Anything and everything is appreciated. We need all the help we can get. We're a small operation, but doesn't mean things are any cheaper for us. So please think about supporting us over there. Help to keep this show running smoothly. You can also support us over at sgbstore.com. As I mentioned at the beginning of the show, I'm wearing my merch right now. That's right. Summer Gamer Boys collection is live with t-shirts. We got the color version. We got the black and white version. We got glasses. We got it all. We got a lot of fun stuff over there. Stickers. We got our classic merch. So if you just want our classic logo merch, we got the regular crew neck. We got the t-shirt. We got the hoodie. We got the mug, coffee mug with our faces on it. Think about supporting us over there, sgbstore.com. Buy some sweet merch. Put a lot of effort into it, and it's been really fun to see the response from those who have gotten it, really loving it. And so far, everyone's saying the quality is a lot better than they expected. Like, oh, this is like a really good quality stuff. So it's not junk. We're not selling you junk. It's good stuff. So think about checking that out. And last but not least, you can subscribe over here on Twitch. If you're watching at twitch.tv/this, that's not it. Twitch.tv. Yeah, it is right. Twitch.tv/TheSuperGamerBoys. On Monday nights, we live stream the recording of the show. Tuesdays, I usually try to stream. Thursdays, Adrian usually tries to stream. Last week was a doozy because Adrian didn't have a Discord account, and I was watching my kids.
You had life in the way.
My wife was out of town, so I could not stream. But this week, hopefully, we'll be back. So tune in Tuesday, tune in Thursday. There'll be something going on, and we can't wait to see you there. Oh, but if you have Amazon Prime, you can subscribe to subscribe for free to our channel. Normally cost you $6 now. I guess they've raised the price, but now you can do it for free, but with that Prime Gaming subscription. So think about dropping that on our channel. That way you can watch this stream, you can watch Adrian, you can watch me play with no ads and access to our emotes. So think about it. We'd appreciate it. It helps us a lot, and you get a lot of fun stuff out of it as well. Check it out. All right, Adrian, let's get back to the show.
Let's do it.
All right, we are back from our ad break. And Adrian, I need to ask you the most important question.
What's that?
What you playing?
Well, I can't lie to you. I've been living a lot of life. Been lifing, okay? Mm-hmm. In the past few days, and haven't had a whole lot of time to be playing the vidges. Believe it or not, I'm usually knee deep in them. But I will say, I was at an event recently where a friend decided to have everybody bring their DS, and we got some Mario Kart 7 in, and dude, man, I don't know. It's just somebody playing that little handheld is just.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? It's just top tier. It's just the Switch is nice and it's big and it has an OLED and everything like that, but just there's no replacement for the feel of having a strictly handheld device.
Yeah.
You know?
Totally.
And I just, it made me really appreciate the value of having something that was designed and thought of top to bottom to be taken with you everywhere.
Right. You can actually fit it in your pocket.
Right. Switch definitely had that conversation of like, well, how will we get people to take it with them? You know, let's let them take it out for sure. Right. But that or Vita or, any kind of other DS or Sony handheld, they were all designed. Look, this person who's buying this is clearly not going to only be at home. Mm-hmm. How can we make sure that they get the best experience anywhere they are? And I think, I don't know, it just made me really appreciate. I wish somehow, and it's not going to be the case, unfortunately, because the Wave is having consoles and hardware that you're able to dock in home and then take with you, to play out and about. But I really wish that there was a case for a strictly handheld device again. I don't know.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I wonder if there's any chance that like the Switch, then whatever the next iteration of the Switch is, what would be really cool is if they took more advantage of the dock. So that way they can make the handheld smaller and simpler. But then when you dock it, it does like supercharge it to make it like console level. So that way, like, okay, I can play games on the go. It's going to be like obviously a lower resolution, all this stuff, but it's a smaller form factor. Like make it the size of like the 3DS or something like that. Like, and then the ability to like slide that whole thing chunk right into the dock, and then suddenly it's like, oh, okay, now it's like playing at 1080, 4K, whatever, and looks great on there. I don't know. I know there's a slim chance that happens, but that would be cool. Like, basically expand, because they already like have like the Switch already covers a large spectrum of handheld to console. But if they could expand that to where the handheld mode is more handheld and the docked mode is more like powerful, like, man, that would be even sweeter. Cover a wider range there, man. That's like, I think
the most we've gotten, or the closest we've gotten in recent years would probably be Switch Lite to a strictly handheld console. And I love Switch. I adore Switch Lite. I cannot believe that we didn't get a Switch Lite with OLED. I would have bought that day one.
Man.
100%.
Yeah.
You're telling me I get that portability and I still get the same power of a Switch and I get a little OLED and it can fit in, like a little fanny pack that I can put around or a crossbody bag? Absolutely. What a missed opportunity. But I feel like at the end of its life, Switch Lite wasn't moving as much units as it should have been. That's why they were reusing those shells to make the Animal Crossing ones.
It's so surprising that it didn't sell as well as it did, because it was genius. I mean, I never picked one up, but it's because, all right, I had the base one. I didn't. Mm-hmm. I was never in an instance where the smaller one would have benefited me, but I always thought about getting one if I got a second Switch. Whereas one of those things where like, oh, okay, like my wife's playing the regular Switch. Oh, okay, I'll get myself the Lite so I can play on the side if she's playing that one or something. But unfortunately, that never happened. As much as I've tried to convince my wife to play games, she doesn't not like them. She does
not for lack of trying.
That's just not her first instinct, is to sit down and play a game. So it's just like, darn it. But yeah, you're right. I know OLED Switch Lite would have been bonkers.
Oh, that Zelda one that just came or is coming out. Imagine that one as an OLED, dude. Oh, the gold one.
So good.
I'm not even a super fan of special edition consoles like that, but that would have been the one.
Oh, dude, I just saw on Reddit the other day. It made me sick to my stomach. Someone had a special edition Switch that had like...
Yeah, and they wiped it with alcohol.
And it took the design...
they wiped all the design off?
Right off of the back. He's like, whatever you do, don't clean your special edition Switches with rubbing alcohol. Because it took the design clean off. Like it
just made it a regular Switch.
Yep, he just has a regular old Switch now. I'm like, how sad is that?
That's crazy.
How sad is that? I would have been just absolutely sick to my stomach if that happened to me. I would have been so sad.
What can you do? You might as well just clean the rest of it off. You might as well just clean it all off and have a regular Switch.
It looked horrendous. Like he just did like a few swipes and it looked really like nasty. I'm like, no, you got to finish the job.
Also, that might be on Nintendo too. Why didn't they just etch that?
I mean, it looks etched. I probably, if I was in his place, I might have made the same mistake thinking, oh, it's etched into the metal, it's fine, or it's etched into the plastic, whatever. But it's not. It's like screened out, silk screen.
Honestly, because it's isn't it like $50 extra too? Like etch it in there, please. Etch it in there. Yeah. What are we doing?
Yeah. Dude,
what are we talking about?
There's no reason for that. I'm just surprised it's taken that long for someone to find that out. Like that's the first time I saw it on the Reddit, and I was just like, oh no.
Yeah, that was nuts.
And everyone in there too was like, I had no idea. I've never heard of this, never seen that. So, man, wild. So sad. Well, cool. I played a little bit of games. I'm in the same boat as you, I guess. Play a little bit of games. I was super busy last week having the boys. I played the game of life last week. Wife was out of town. So
the toughest game. You thought a Souls game was hard?
Taking care of the two boys. They're pretty good kids, but by the end of the day, I was just exhausted. I would sit down on my bed and turn on One Piece. I watch a crap ton of One Piece. That's like on the Discord, I posted a picture I drew. I was like, I've been watching a lot of One Piece.
You want to do a quick catch up? Where you at?
I am at, is it called Skyopia or whatever?
Skypea? Oh, okay, you're moving.
They're fighting. Oh man, I've been actually watching it while I'm working. So unfortunately, like today, I actually watched a lot. But the last couple ones, I was focused more on my work, so I kind of was distracted on what the episode was. I might need to rewatch it. I think they're fighting like the priest of some god. They ticked off the god, and now they're like fighting. They're fighting these. They're like doing these trials and things.
Okay, I know where you are.
Things are not going well. So yeah, it's good. It's good stuff.
Yeah, you're moving pretty well. You're moving pretty far along.
You had sent me a list a while back with like ones that you can skip for like that aren't, they're more like fluff ones or whatever. So I was following that. So I skipped a good chunk of like some filler episodes. But I've already caught back up pretty quick with, watching a bunch of the end ones. Let me see. I think I'm up. Yeah, I'm like I at like 157, 158? I might even be farther. I don't know. Somewhere around there. But yeah, I skipped
Also,
like
this
one.
is fitting content because it is legitimately One Piece Day today. I don't know if you knew that.
I did not.
Yeah. Japan has declared July 22nd as One Piece Day.
That's awesome. That's so cool. Happy One Piece Day. I've been loving it. Yeah,
happy One Piece. Happy One Piece Day, celebrating one of the greatest works of fiction ever made.
It's pretty. I haven't even finished it, and I'm like, this show is so good. I love it.
You are at the tip of the iceberg, dude. I would be surprised if by the time you catch up, you're not like, so what do you think about a tattoo? I swear to you.
I mean, we'll see. Yeah, 131 to 143 I skipped. According to this, they were all filler. But everything else I've caught, it's been good. Also, at the end of the last arc, I finally understand your statue you have there behind you.
Oh, that's right. You've been past Alabasta.
Yeah,
that's right.
So like I as soon as they did it in the show, I'm like, that's the statue Adrian has. Where they're like, don't look at her, don't like we can't let the Navy know that she might have ties to us, but they all just put their arms up with the X's showing. I'm like, oh yes, it was so good. Tears running down.
That
their
was
faces.
the moment I was in. Let's go all the way to the end, boy. I will never forget that.
So sad. It's so emotional.
It was so good. It was so well good. Done, man.
Absolutely fantastic. So a lot of One Piece. I am this close to beating Hollow Knight. I know I said that last week, and I really was, but what I found out is I got all the way to like what I assume is the final boss, or pretty much like close to the final boss. I mean, spoilers. His name is literally called the Hollow Knight. So I assume he's the final boss. It's the name of the game, right? Right. So I'm about to fight the Hollow Knight, and I jumped in there, and he wiped the floor with me, dude. It was not even there was no chance in the world that was going to happen. And I got looking around. I'm like, oh, like I only have like, I don't even think I had like I had just a handful of charms, like maybe 8 or 9 charms. Like I had nothing. I think there's 40 total in the game. I had like 8 or 9. I barely had any health bars. I barely had any of the souls containers and stuff like that. So I went hard, and now I have like 38 or 39. I think I'm only missing 1 or 2 of the charms. I have all the charms now. I've gotten a few more health containers, a few more of the souls containers. Charm slots. That's the other thing. Like the charm slots as well. Being able to have more charms selected makes a big difference. So yeah, I've just been like beefing my character, basically just leveling up the last week, so I can have even the slightest chance of beating the Hollow Knight. Because let me tell you, he just like I know there's a certain skill element as well, and it takes time. Like there was another boss where I was just like, I just had to beat my head against the wall for an hour and a half before I finally learned his pattern. And then once I learned his pattern, I'm like, okay, boom, I beat it, like no problem. But boy, from what I played of the Hollow Knight, I'm like, that doesn't seem like there's much of a pattern. It seems pretty just wild random, but I didn't put that much time into it. So we'll see. Hopefully this next week I can beat it. I really would. I
keep toying with the idea of going back to Hollow Knight. Like I played a good chunk of it when it first was, coming out and pretty hot. And I just, for as much as I enjoy games where you have to beat your head against the wall, like and I have proof of that. I 100%ed, Cuphead. I played Elden Ring. It's just something about Hollow Knight scares me that it's going to be too hard. And I don't know how I feel about it.
Yeah. I mean, if I've gotten as far as I have, it can't be that hard. Right. I mean, it's hard. Don't get me wrong. It's extremely hard for me, but everyone knows I'm a bad gamer. So if I've gotten as far as I have, I think you'll be pretty good. I mean, you've 100%ed Cuphead. You'll probably be pretty good. And what's nice about Hollow Knight is like I'm playing through. My plan is just to finish the game, but hypothetically, from what I've read online, like there's ways to even.
There's a whole nother campaign.
Right. Well, not like you can fight old bosses, like their ghost or whatever, and they're harder. So if you want the challenge, like, all right, go ahead and refight the boss at a harder level and then get your teeth kicked in.
No,
But,
I'm okay. I already beat the boss the first time.
Yeah, exactly. What I've loved about Hollow Knight, though, because I do not like hard games generally. Like games like this, I don't connect with. But Hollow Knight does such a good job with like the environmental storytelling and the world itself is so just beautiful and intriguing and interesting. Like there's so much going on that you just like, oh, like what is this? What is, trying to connect the dots, figure out what's going on in this world, in the story, and the atmosphere, the music, like everything about it. Like there's so much incredible, like the designs of some of these bosses and creatures.
It's a gorgeous game.
It has enough of all that other stuff that it makes up for the hardness factor. Like it was a similar thing with, I mean, even like Armored Core. Like Armored Core was an extremely hard game, but I'm like, hey, I love robots, and I ended up having a really cool story. So I'm like, oh man, that trumps the hardness of the game. But where like games, normal Souls games, I'd be like, no, I'm sorry, like you can't. Elden Ring was an exception. That pulled me in for a little bit, not enough to beat it, but enough to at least play.
I think you should go back. I
want to. I've been watching Premiere 2 on Twitch. His name is Pete. I've heard about him through like CDawg VA and abroad in Japan. Like he lives over in Tokyo, but he's been streaming through the Elden Ring DLC. And I love the way he does it, because a lot of streamers are just like, let's get through it as soon as possible and beat the crap out of things and min-max. And he's just like, no, man, I'm here for the story and the lore and just to enjoy the world. So he's like, he actually has like a stream deck with like different songs and music and stuff. So he's like going through stuff and like choosing his own soundtrack. Like every time he jumps on the horse or whatever it is, he turns on a song from Wild Arms, which is just like,
I'm not mad at it.
It fits so perfectly. I'm like, oh heck yeah, this is so good. And he's like totally like role playing the character the whole time and like cinematically panning the camera. I'm like, this is the best way to watch someone stream Elden Ring.
I'm not mad at it.
He's just loving it and enjoying it. So yeah, Premiere 2 over on Twitch. He's hilarious too. It's been a blast. But the whole time watching, I'm like, oh, I need to play Elden Ring so bad. But I've played literally the last 2 games of then Armored Core and then now Hollow Knight. So I'm like, I kind of want to go into
maybe you should play a cozy game for a little while, huh?
I need a cozy
give it a break for a second.
I need to chill out, because these aren't these type of like my type of games, but yet I've been playing.
These games one after another are not good for your blood pressure.
Not good. Not good at all. But so yeah, that's where I'm at. Video games,
There it is. Cool. Especially when you can get to them when life doesn't get in the way. But that's what mobile games are for. And I mean mobile in like portable games.
There you go.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Chip away at it here and there.
We historically hate mobile games here. That's Super Gamer Boys. Put that in writing. Saw my name next to that. All right. No, I'm just kidding. Anyways, thank you all so much for listening. We appreciate each and every one of you. You guys are all fantastic. All of you who caught the live stream. All of you who catch us later on YouTube, all of you who listen on podcast services, whether it's Apple Podcast, which you should leave a rating or review, please, over there. If you listen on Spotify, that's incredible as well. Think about leaving a review over there as well. Interact with the show there. We do polls and questions each week you can respond to. If you really love what we do, we would very, very, very much appreciate it if you support us over at patreon.com/supergamerboys. Even if it's just $1 a month, that helps tremendously. And then if you have a little bit extra cash, we got $5, $10, $15 a month you can support us. So those of you who do support us, thank you so much. And for those of you thinking about it, please go check it out. We could use all the help we can get. We want to keep making cool stuff for you, and cool stuff costs money.
Sure enough.
Also, you can support us over at sgbstore.com. Remember, buy our sweet merch. We got Summer Gamer Boys collection out now. We got colored tees, the black and white tee. We got cups. We got stickers. We got hats. We got swim trunks. Whatever you need, we got it over there. It's a lot of fun. sgbstore.com. Shout out to Jack Sriracha, Yate, and DJ Trooz for allowing us to use their music on the show. Today, you've been listening to DJ Trooz. So you should go add them to your playlist over at Apple Music and Spotify. Find the links in the show description over on YouTube and podcast. Click that link, find them, listen to them, Adam. You can find us during the week over at supergamerboys.com, Twitter and Instagram at supergamerboys. I'm on Twitter and Instagram at gmorlang. Adrian, where can the fine folks find you at?
You can find me any and everywhere on the internet at Homeboy.
That's the one. And with that, that's it. That's all I got.
Sounds like a plan. Then I'll take it out from here. Folks, thank you for hanging out with us for another episode, another week of the Super Gamer Boys podcast. As Garrett has just mentioned, we appreciate any and all forms of support, whether that be here live in the chat with us while we record our episode, watching it video on demand style, listening to the audio podcast, buying merch, whatever it is, telling a friend, attach a note to a crow's foot, a raven's foot, so we can deliver a message to somebody and let them know, that we have a pretty rad podcast.
That's the way I typically do it.
Exactly.
I prefer a raven or just a carrier pigeon. Pigeons are cool too.
Whichever. I mean, the raven's kind of honestly more metal, but I'll let it go. We appreciate everybody who is here, who has been here, and who will be here to come. And until next time, we are the Super Gamer Boys.
And we'll catch you on the flippity flop.
A raven would be sick though, right? Maybe we should look into, what if we delivered our merch via raven?
What if in our next Super Dungeon Boys campaign, it's oops, all ravens, and we all just have ravens. We're all raven. We're all like bird folk, and we have ravens that we also just have.
That's going to be some socioeconomic thing. Are they our slaves? Are we enslaving our fellow birdmen?
It's called a familiar. It's a familiar.
No.